Dr. Rahul, what's the basic difference between Ayurveda and naturopathy? Because a lot of people confuse the two pathies and the roadmap to heal.
Correct.
So, for a layman, how can they understand what's the difference and then what's better for them?
See, both of them have one thing in similarity, that is they work according to the nature. That's the only similarity they have.
Hmm.
They don't go against the nature, but there are stark differences in both of them. Like in naturopathy, they believe that you need to cure something, and for that you need to have certain kind of raw diet, only fruits, only you can say some kind of stuff, or do fasting and all. This is just a, you can say, a small part of what Ayurveda mentions it. So basically, Ayurveda says the whole point of writing Ayurveda is swastasya swastha rakshanam, aturasya vikar parimokshitaha. So who is healthy, how he needs to be healthy is the primary intention of Ayurveda. And then who is fallen sick, for them we also have something written for you. So that is how the whole concept is. So for them, it's not only about healing, it's about staying healthy also. And that too as a primary focus. That is what Ayurveda mentions. Secondly, we never say in Ayurveda, people say कि Ayurveda says you need to have only vegetarian diet. I'll open Ayurveda text and I'll show you almost 500, 700 non-vegetarian things that people have told to do. So there is nothing like only vegetarian. It's all upon how you assimilate, how your body is accustomed to, and how your body functions accordingly. You have to take into consideration. Now, the diet part that they have said in Ayurveda somewhat matches with with naturopathy. But the only thing is, we never recommend having raw food. We always say have something cooked. Only the fruits are the thing that you need to have it raw. Otherwise, there is Panchavid Kalpana, where you need to either boil it, either steam it, either cook it. And the food, I mean, for a healthy person, what Ayurveda says, the food has to be चोष्य चोष्य मतलब you need to suck it, layer चाट के खाने वाला, चोष्य भक्ष्य like laddu, something hard to eat, bhajya like a soft and dal rice, something soft like dal rice, and peya, something to drink. So a good food for a healthy person needs to have 6 days. These six elements, like something to lick, something to uh, chew softly, something hard to chew, something that is very small in portion but tasty for taste and assimilation, and lastly something to drink. So when this concept comes in, there is nowhere scope for only having raw diet, only having fruits. There is a total difference in it. And the problem that happens with having only raw diet, which is good because it has come from yogic practices, but when you have only raw food and you're not living a yogic life, then definitely your body is going to take a toll. The commonest problem that these people have is either piles or fishes, which is very common in these kind of people who have too much of naturopathic diet or the raw food kind of diet. So therefore, we believe in Ayurveda that nothing secondary should come up either through medication, or even through your diet. So therefore, that principle comes into play. In naturopathy, secondly, what they do is they have certain cleansing techniques which are similar to Ayurveda, but again, the medium that they use is different, and what we use in Ayurveda is different. To give you a small example, they do something known as colon cleansing, which is very popular these days. So they take hot water, they put some, squeeze some lime, and then they just push it inside the anal region, and the anal, I mean, the whole intestinal area and the rectum gets washed off. In Ayurveda, we have something known as basti, which has decoction. It is a medicated decoction. Okay. And in that, we have honey, we have put certain medicines, we use oils, ghee, and all those things, and then we give it. For us, it's not colon cleansing. For us, it's healing your body. Basti is the Ardha Chikitsa, or 50% of all the treatments of many diseases. So at
Yeah.
that time, it has a very big, potent power. And to do that, we give medicines, the kada, medicated kadas, according to your problem, according to your constitution and all. So therefore, it not only just cleanses the area, but it also heals your body, heals your overall problem. So that's the difference. And thirdly, they have certain things like mud therapy and all those things, which may or may not be there in Ayurveda, because till date I could not find any such references in Ayurveda, but they have those things. Okay, you need to do a mud therapy, it will help you and all. But we have certain principles where we have been told ki you should be roaming around on the beaches or in the gardens doing certain activities. Maybe somewhere down the line we might have had mud therapy or something. But if not, still they have those principles ki with mud, your body, the Prithvi Tattva or the earth element would get better, and then it would cool down depending upon the mud. So there are some differences. But if you want to live a healthy life, that's my own opinion. If you want to live a healthy life, if you want things to be better, always follow Ayurveda. Huh. At times when you want to fast and how to fast, for that you can use the principles of naturopathy. But in that, fruit diet is the best part. Having only salads and everything won't help you in the longer run. For one day, 2 days, it's okay, not for every day. So, like how we have this Ekadashi, Upas, and all those things, at
Yeah.
that time you can definitely take help or use from those principles. And do you know interesting fact? I mean, naturopathy came in around 1800, 18th century somewhere in Germany, and it is said that that guy was influenced with Ayurveda, but he also had a very good influence because he was roaming around in the jungles. He used to observe all the animals, and from that he took a clue on how animals heal themselves. So maybe he would have used certain principles, tried and tested, and therefore the whole naturopathy came into existence. So even though it's 200 years old, as similar to the allopathy or the modern medicine, something that is 4,000-year old might definitely have its own weightage because it has seen a vast timeline. And
Yeah.
when I say so, it has seen what was good, what was relevant, it has been kept. What was irrelevant, over a period of time, it went away. Nature has this very simple formula. What is irrelevant in terms of knowledge, in terms of anything, over a period of time, it destructs it and it throws it away. So therefore, that upgradation happens naturally. How we say, hey, I have a version 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 version.
Yeah.
Nature also has its own version of everything.
Another, a very major thing that confuses a lot of people in the modern days today is Vat, Pitta, and Kapha. A lot of,
Mhm.
literature that's available on the internet or the YouTube videos that we get to hear, it's
Mhm.
always a reference that there's a imbalance between among your three elements, so Vat, Pitta, and Kapha. If you
Correct.
can elaborate on this, what each of these individually and what's the correct balance, or how can one find the right prakriti, because these are the three prakritis, if I'm not wrong, in a human's body.
Correct.
So how can
Mhm.
an individual identify their body's prakriti and plan the roadmap ahead?
To give you a very simple perspective about Vat, Pitta, and Kapha, I'll just make you understand something. So it is said that when a garbha or a progeny takes shape in the mother's womb, post the semen and the ovum getting indulged, the zygote getting formed, that is when your prakriti is formed, and you cannot change your prakriti. Okay. Now, how is this formed? There are three elements or the three functional elements in Ayurveda: Vat, Pitta, and Kapha. Each one of us has something, you can say a threshold of one or two, and a lower level of the third one. Okay, so this threshold is a fixed pattern. Like you may have a higher Kapha, lower Vata, medium Pitta. Okay, just to make you understand, huh? So how
Mhm.
you have those what you can say music systems में वो equalizers रहते हैं ना, so
Yeah.
more bass less rock kind of. So similarly, Vat, Pitta, and Kapha, depending upon the at the time of zygote formation, what are the things that are coming from the mother and the father? According to that, these three things are decided by the body. Okay. Now what happens is, suppose these three things, they help to form the whole body and the internal structures of the baby. Okay, so if you are a kapha dominant person, the baby will always be bulky. There will be chubby cheeks kind of scenario. The baby would have bigger hands, bigger face, kind of all those structural things will come into play. Once the baby is born, this kapha dominant baby would be a lazy one. It would sleep a lot, those kind of things. Now, what happens is when you say, "Ki, how can a layman person diagnose their prakriti?" It becomes very difficult because there is once you are born, the external surroundings take care of you and they try to manipulate or mask it. Okay, so giving you an example, suppose this kapha dominant baby has born in somewhere where the whole family is very active. They run, they love to jog, they love to exercise, they eat very healthy food, they measure their diet and everything. So slow and steadily, because he's into that environment, slow and steadily, even though he's a kapha dominant, he will show signs of him being a vata dominant or a pitta dominant person. Okay, but on the when you see the spectrum, his spectrum would be on the lower side of doing everything. I mean, if people are running for 1 hour, he will run for 40 minutes. If people are say taking 5 minutes to do something, he will take 7 minutes because naturally he's a bit slow. His body is slow. On the contrary, if everybody is thin built, he will be bulky but lean, that kind of structure, tall, good, you can say a good frame of body, and then he would be on the a bit leaner but huge, that kind of body structure he will have. वो- what people say is इसकी हड्डियां बहुत कड़क है, बहुत जोर से मार लगते, so if he punches somebody na, they will get a very nasty blow because his bone are very strong. That's its whole core competences, whole prakriti as such. So telling them or for a layman to understand now becomes very difficult. But still, I always say there are five things which we need to understand. How's your sleep pattern? How's your bowel habit? How's your diet? How's your food intake? Number four, how's your day-to-day activity going on? And lastly, how are you when nobody is disturbing you? Are you lazy bump? Are you a total freak out? You love to go here and there, do things, or you just sit and overthink kind of scenario. From these five aspects, now we just get a rough idea, okay, where he is from. And then we ask, I mean, when I do a Prakriti Parikshan of somebody, na, right now it takes me 20 minutes, but before it used to take 50, 55 minutes to just to understand this Prakriti, because I have to remove all the masking, all the layers, and then I have to ask. There was somebody in Pune, a very old, I mean, old physician by the name Bapu Nanal. So this sir used to take 1.5 hours just to understand that person's prakriti, and he used to ask somewhere around 400 questions, odd questions, and he used to understand. And once he is done, he's done. He used to say, "Okay, हो गया अभी इसको ये दवाई देना है." So that is the power, because while unmasking, you have to understand what he used to eat as a child, what he used to love to do, what his family used to do along with him, what was his friend circle doing. So those many questions you have to understand. Today, people don't have time, but if you really sit down and understand the Prakriti, na, you will be fascinated. I'll give you one simple interesting thing about my own Prakriti. I always felt that since I am a healthy person, I'm obese a bit, so maybe I have a Kapha dominant Prakriti. But
Mhm.
over a period of time, I understood that I'm not a Kapha dominant, I'm a Vata dominant Prakriti. My prakriti is different. And then I understand that, okay, I was born a low birth weight baby, and then I had some operation or something at the age of 4 or 5, and after that I was given steroids for a long time, and then I became bulky. So my see, I mean, from this you can just understand okay, how things changed. Even though right now, if you can hear my voice, it's a very sooth, settling voice. But internally, I'm a very chanchal, or you can say bumpy kind of a person. For me, I cannot stay stable at one place. I need to be in movement. So that is what my prakriti is. Okay. So this is how masking takes place. This is how things change. And therefore, for you to understand Prakriti becomes very difficult because even a doctor at times get confused, okay, whether he's on this side or he's on the other side of the thing. But I always feel everybody should know what their Prakriti is. Okay, they have certain AI tools that have come up recently, which I have seen, where they are trying to give some accuracy into it, and they are really good. I mean, I have used one or two, one developed by Amrita University and one somebody in Chennai. So I found them good, but I don't know how. I mean, after going into multiple people, I may get a clear idea. But there are things from which you can understand, and why you need to understand, because like how you need to know if you own a car, you'll understand my point. You need to know what make your car is. Okay, whether it's a petrol engine, it's a diesel engine, how many cc's, what are the things that are inside it, how you need to maintain them. To understand that whole thing na, you need to have a clarity on this. And therefore, what I have come up with recently, a 3D model of Prakriti Parikshan, where number one, I check your Prakriti through a questionnaire and many multiple things. Before that, I send you a questionnaire where you understand your Prakriti or you give me an inputs. And thirdly, there is a new device that has come up for this Nadi Pariksha.
Okay.
So with that Nadi Pariksha device and with the pulse examination that we do in front as during consultations, we take some inputs, and overall we just what you can say, how you have in chemistry confirmatory test and all. So
Yep.
whatever readings I take on my personal note, that and the machine has to somewhere, if they are same, then okay, we are on track. But if on sometimes that the machine or all this questionnaire don't fit into what I see, then it's the one that dominates. I mean, if the machine and the patient's things are on the writer side, they both match, then okay, there are, this is that Prakriti. Or else me and the patient or me or the machine matches, then this is the Prakriti that we need to get. So that is how I have made the 3D model, so that it becomes simplified. And it is not the ultimate ultimate truth, but yes, you need, once you understand na कि, okay, I have a kapha body, I have a pitta body, I have a vata body, then it becomes easy to give you a lifestyle that you need to maintain for your health. So if you are somebody like me who's a vata body, you always will have to have something like a regular oil massage to keep your body fit. Or in diet, you cannot eat too much of you will also have to eat a lot of oil or ghee into your diet. And at the same time, you'll also have to ensure that you are doing this having soups or something which are liquid and hot in nature. I cannot have cold coffee very frequently, or I cannot indulge a lot into ice creams and all, because eventually within 1 or 2 days my body will react and tell me, boss, this is not I don't want from you. Okay. And
Mhm.
similarly, if you are a pitta dominant, for you, uh, for those who are pitta dominant, for them it's always necessary for them to be into problem solving, because if they are into managerial things, they will kill somebody for sure, because they cannot manage people. But give them a task, give them something that is a problem solving thing, they would excel in that. Okay. Similarly, for them, uh, in diet they need to have something that is sweet on a regular basis. You cannot starve them, you cannot deprive them, because their body's metabolism is always high. So for them, having sweets, having something like chocolates or something might be a part of the treatment or their lifestyle, because they need that kind of things. And on the contrary, for the kapha person, he cannot sit at one place. For him, movement is necessary, for him exercise is necessary. For him, going for a walk, doing rigorous exercise is necessary. So this is how we plan. Okay, this is your core constitution. These are the elements that you have, and from that now we need to work upon how you need to stay healthy, stay fit. So that is how this whole things work upon. So for a layman, even though it's not, it would be difficult to make them understand, but still, if you are a very gentle or unstable kind of a person. Every now and then you tend to do this, you switch over things. Just to make you understand, if you switch over things, you are not very decisive in nature. You tend to go somewhere near Vata, and plus you have a very thin body and lean body, thin and slim, very slim body. You definitely go towards Vata. Your skin may also be dry, something like that. For a Pitta, for that instance, they would always be fair in color. They would have medium height, not very short, not very tall. The hair will be very smooth and silky, and these people will be very short tempered. And this short tempered won't be frustration. Literally जो गुस्सा बोलते हैं ना, मतलब अंदर गुस्सा भरा पड़ा है, those kind of people, these pitta prakriti things, people would be, and they would be a natural leaders. They would be one in the stack or your group who's always like, I'll do this, I'll show you how I do that. That kind of aggression, Virat Kohli being the best example of it. Okay, for the pitta prakriti people, just observe Virat Kohli. You are like that. You are very disciplined when you, and when you follow something, you follow it to the T. On the contrary, the kapha person is somebody like Rohit Sharma, total chillax. हाँ कर लेंगे, हो जाएगा. But when they start doing it, initially they find it difficult. But once they get into the groove, ना, they are the ones who are difficult to stop. क्योंकि वो ना जिद्दी दिमाग वाले होते हैं. Okay, so once they decide something, then there is no looking back. But for them to decide, it takes a very long time. They usually have a broad frame. They are a bit on the healthier side. They are a bit lazy or laid back kind of people. And for them, uh, to getting them things done, matlab, every house has a child where they say, बेटा ये कर ले, इसे बाद में करेंगे ना मम्मी, अभी क्या करना है, अभी नहीं, बाद में. That kind of people are usually the kapha dominant people. Okay, so, and to give you a corollary for the vata dominant cricketer, yeah, Chahal. Chahal is somebody who would definitely fit into it. His teeth are literally the one of vata prakriti person would have. And even his bowling action, his wrist movement, the way he celebrates after taking wicket, it's all from the vata dominant thing.
Okay.
So I hope your listeners would get an idea on how they need to perceive, because these three cricketers are very, I mean, everybody some way or the other follows them, knows them, so they could relate easily.